We want to turn now to the week's other big story, the war in northern Iraq and Syria. I sat down with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu after his address to the United Nations last week. In that speech, he called ISIS and Hamas branches of the same poisonous tree. So I asked him if ISIS now poses a threat to Israel.
Absolutely. I mean, ISIS has got to be defeated because it's doing what all these militant Islamists are trying to do. They all want to first dominate their part of the Middle East and then go on for their twisted idea of world domination. The difference between ISIS and Hamas and ISIS and Iran and so on is they all agree that the world should be an Islamist hill, but they all want to be, each of them wants to be the king of the hill. That's what they're really fighting about. Essentially, they want to accumulate enough power to then carry out their mad ambitions. So that's the danger with ISIS. It's creating a state. It's got 2 million petrodollars a day. It's got weapons it's taken over from the Iraqi army and so on. And it's dangerous, no question. But if you think ISIS is dangerous and should be defeated, as I do, and I completely support President Obama's effort in leadership in this regard, then think how much more dangerous Iran is. Iran doesn't have 2 million petrodollars a day. It has 100 million petrodollars a day. And it's working on obtaining nuclear weapons. And that would be, I think, a pivot of history. I think it would endanger the future of our common civilization. So that should be defeated, and that should be prevented.
On this battle with ISIS, do you foresee Israel becoming more directly involved in the battle against ISIS?
We are ready to support and help in every way that we're asked to do. But these are things that, we don't discuss necessarily on TV, not even on Face the Nation.
There's a lot of back and forth about what should we do about Assad and can they defeat ISIS without taking down Assad. What is your sense of that?
Look, I think that...
should we attack Syrian forces?
I think right now the real issue is ISIS. ISIS has taken over oil supplies in Syria. It basically uses Syria as a safe haven and as a launching ground for attacks. And I think wisely, a decision has been made that ISIS targets in Syria and Iraq are equally targetable. As far as Assad is concerned, I think that you certainly don't have to prop him up, and you don't have to cut a deal with him any more than you have to cut a deal with Iran. They're going to fight ISIS anyway. You don't have to reward them. You don't have to reward Iran with a nuclear deal any more than you have to reward Assad with bringing back the chemical weapons, because he's fighting these guys anyway, as Iran is fighting them anyway. So I wouldn't say what to do. I wouldn't prop up Assad up, but I would in any way, and I wouldn't give him immunity, but I would focus the effort on ISIS on one side and preventing Iran from getting atomic bombs on the other side.
More of that interview later in the broadcast, including the Prime Minister's answer when I asked him to describe his relationship with President Obama. Our commentary is next.